Good afternoon.
Jackie. I forgot my name there for a moment. Darn.
I did too. Well, mine's Lorena. We are here from Works of Wyoming, which is a artist development project of the Wyoming Women's Business Center, a nonprofit. So our job, I guess if you call it a job, we have too much fun. I'm not sure it classifies as a job, is to increase the exposure and to educate our artists and provide the visibility of their artwork in a retail store. So we are here to show off a husband-wife team, and I'm going to start with the wife, Crystal Lawrence, and this is all hand-painted, hand-dyed work. We're going to start with her cards, her greeting cards. She takes a piece of silk and sometimes linen and dyes it. The critters are hand painted, and then she embellishes them all, sometimes with beads. Hand stitching. So we have a horse here. And most of our, in fact, all of our cards are blank, so that you can frame them and also write your own saying in them. And we have a horse the other direction.
With his hair, it looks like his hair is out of yarn and embellished around the sides as well.
Mm-hmm. And here she has fun with some florals, a daisy, and I would guess an aster, and she's also put a little bee
on it. Yeah, you can just barely see
it. At the very
there.
top of the purple daisy there, so she's embellished that one. A lot of people will frame these. And look what we've got here.
Oh, Indian paintbrush.
We've got Wyoming's Indian paintbrush in various colors, and this one has some yarn almost like a rickrack around it, probably a full wool yarn. And this one's got some stitching and embellishment.
And a lot of people don't know, but there's 13 varieties of colors of the Indian paintbrush. The most prominent is the reds, oranges, and pinks because they're so vibrant. But there's yellows and blues and purples in between, and white, and variations between the red to white. So it's interesting if you find a different colored one.
And what else about the Indian paintbrush? How it relates to Wyoming? It's our
national flower,
our state flower. Yes.
Yes.
And right now it's beautiful. When I drove over the snowy range mountains, the Indian paintbrush are in full bloom.
Yes.
So this artist, and as we encourage many of our artists, is to diversify their line of work. So not just having the cards, but Crystal also does silk scarves. These are hand dyed. They all start out as white, and then she hand paints her design on them. This one has our Indian paintbrush
in blue with the blue background.
This one has a green background, and she's done several of our wildflowers on it. So we have the Indian paintbrush. What did we decide this one?
Bluebell, or no, not bluebell. Yeah, blue. It's
or columbine, maybe?
Columbine, because that's wild
geraniums.
Yeah.
And then this one is it the shooting star?
Yeah, it's the
purple one.
The purple shooting star.
So if you go out hiking in the mountains, you'll see a lot of these flowers out in the wild. And this one, I guess, is very similar.
This is the purple bell. And yeah, we have the aster again.
So some of our artists, they get tired, as artists do, of making the same thing. And so Indian paintbrush scarves is some of our best sellers. And Crystal was getting a little tired of them. And I said, well, what else can you do with them?
Right.
So we've got these with the Wyoming wildflowers in addition to the Indian paintbrush.
Yes.
And to diversify even more, Crystal does t-shirts. So we have them all sizes from children up to adults. She loves sunflowers. We get a lot of sunflowers from her. And so this one is not embellished, but it's hand painted in a child's size. And a lot of our customers are from out of state on their way to Yellowstone or the Grand Teton National Park.
Yes.
And so we have t-shirts with the Indian paintbrush on them.
Yeah. And nice blue background.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sky here.
Okay, so that's it for the Indian paintbrush. Do you want to talk about Alberto?
Yes.
And his style of painting there?
Alberto is from
Peru.
and he's married to Crystal, and he does Peruvian art, and he does t-shirts for us with that artwork on them. This one here is an elk, a representation of our elk here. We have beautiful elk herds and things. If you drive along I-80, you can see up to 200 elk at different times up along the fence. We have extra high fences because of that. Some of our fences are 12 feet high in some areas, and you still see people trying to climb over them. And it's like, no, you don't want to do that. This one is a chicken with the Peruvian designs on it and the yellow. I like that yellow.
It's bright. He likes oranges, reds, and yellows. There's a lot, and sometimes he'll do like pinks and purples together.
And this is a child size right here.
But look at all the detail on that, all the squirrels and the dots, and then show them the back too.
Yes, it's bright. And those remind me of hoof prints or chicken prints. Yeah, paw marks. Okay, and then we have a horse.
And his designs are fun. Sometimes it's an educated guess what the animal is.
Yes.
Because they're in more of a caricature form than a real life
form. And the horse again is carried over to the back with flowers. What we like, this is hard sometimes to determine what this is, so we have an inventory process where you write your description on here so it matches the inventory sheet, and we really appreciate that about Crystal and Alberto, because sometimes it is hard to guess. I would say this is a tree.
Yes.
The tree of life in the Peruvian design, and it's really cool. And then the back has the leaves on it, so very nice. And once again, the orange and yellows.
And one thing to mention, because we are the Works of Wyoming, we only have artists who are Wyoming residents in here.
Right.
And even though Alberto grew up in Peru, he's been a resident here for 40, maybe 50 years.
Yeah.
He's a sheep herder, so he goes out in the little wagon with his dog Roanie, a border collie, and they watch huge herds of sheep, flocks of sheep, by themselves, the two of them, and he's very much in demand, and he's out for like a month at a time. And when he comes in, Crystal has some of these ready for him, and so they go in stages.
Yeah. Well, here's two chickens. And a chicken and a rooster. No, two roosters. Several roosters. 3 roosters. We're getting a whole herd here. So, yeah. So this one's got the roosters on it, on the back.
Oh, yeah. He even put the spurs on the roosters there.
I got spurred by a rooster once. We ate him for dinner that night.
I would too.
Oh, this one's pretty. One says Wyoming on it. And this is a moose, I'm going to guess, because of the horns are different than the elk. We have a lot of moose up here, and moose will let you get pretty close, but you want to remember once again, our wildlife is just that, wildlife.
They're so ugly, they're cute.
Yeah.
They've got a nose that must be about that long.
Well, they're as big as a horse, and I seen one jump a 7-foot snow fence one day, and it made it look easy.
Yeah, and while they look cute, they are very aggressive.
Yes.
Especially the females with the calves.
And the calves have legs that go forever. And this one's our pronghorn. I have to start rearranging my vocabulary now that I know that they're pronghorn and not antelope.
So do you know what makes them a pronghorn?
Their horns have sheaths instead of being like a deer or an elk, and they do not shed them.
Right, and they're made out of hair. They're actually hollow. Instead of the bone like the antler you see.
Yeah. So very different. They are our fastest land mammal
in North America. They'll go up to 60 miles an hour, and I was reading off of the Wyoming State Museum website, the only land mammal faster is the cheetah, and I believe it goes 80 plus miles an hour.
And another tidbit is the Wyoming elk is the only North American animal in the continent that has ivory in their teeth.
Yes, very desirable.
Yes.
The bull elk.
Yeah, no, cows have it too.
Do they have it too?
Oh, yeah.
See, I learned something today too.
Yeah, and we make earrings and rings and things out of those. This is a bull. He looks like he's ready to charge, and it says Wyoming. So another Wyoming shirt. So, and I love the red in this, and the purples, and then the bulls on the back. So there we have Alberto's line.
Okay, so that's the end of this
Yeah.
one. If you have any questions for us, feel free to post them in the comments. We'll get back to you just as quick as we can.
Yes.
Also, we have an online store,
Yeah.
worksofwyoming.com. We are working to get all of our
Work online.
inventory online. Right now, we've got 19 artists and 200 pieces, and that will continue to grow.
Yeah.
Or visit us at a retail store
Yes.
downtown Laramie.
Yep. You'll get to meet us.
Yep.
Yep.
And Suzanne.
And
We got
Suzanne,
too.
yes,
She's
yes.
manning the upstairs retail store.
Yeah.
We're at 300
South Second.
South 2nd,
Yeah.
corner of Grand and 2nd in downtown historic Laramie.
Wyoming.
So thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good time.
Yep. Thank
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Come on.